just find it weird some of the things that I know about StreamYard versus about doing this. And I get that I'm like I do audio and tech work as like my background, but it's just weird the things that I see on people's channels. Like seriously, I be like, is somebody doing this for you or are you doing it yourself? You know, I really visualize because they settings and shit be so set up that I really visualize like a matrix type of hallway that extends like into infinity. And in each door is the content creators, just the fake ones, right? Like, okay, I believe that Tisa Tell. No, see, like I feel like they're inside YouTube. Like, really, some of these content creators are just YouTube workers, especially these guys that don't show their face ever. Anyway, I'm just a regular person, and I'm recording on this and giving you my opinion because I don't I don't understand how you could see something like this go on with somebody and not say something and not be moved to do something. So first, I just watched the video where Gene Deal was visiting somebody and taking their mother food, and I think it's Unique Mecca, but Unique Mecca Audio. Because I saw the video on his channel, but I'm like, I just think it's weird for somebody to be so animated about someone who's going to support someone who says they've been harmed and only see it for the other side. And it made me think of NDAs and NDAs not really being NDAs, but NDAs more being like a oath. Like an oath is being broken if you stand up and say something. But first of all, I just if that be the case, I would like to say thank you to people like Gene Deal for real, because we will not get to the bottom of this issue if we don't have some stand up people in the crowd. And honestly, I think all this must have been a test from God to see who would go along, to see, like, to weed out really horrible and corrupt people in our society. You know what I'm saying? Like, it's a self weed out there. And I don't know if the same people who set him in our community is ready to prosecute him. Because, honey, you are all part of the same thing. Like that organization that set these people in our community to harm ourselves, right? Or either you're not like us. So are you wearing a mask? Like what is happening? Oh, anyway. So my point is I just like to thank the stand up people and because we won't get to the bottom of what's going on without some real fucking stand up people. I mean, even when whatever that movie was called that was about them going into the tunnels and stuff, whatever that movie was called, and obviously that movie was made to satiate us. Because have you noticed that like they took that dude down after that movie came out? And now it's coming out that he was part of it. Ain't that wild? But anyway, I wasn't here to talk about Unique Mecca Audio or the Sounds of Freedom, I think was the name of the movie. And remember how, like, here's what I was hearing, okay? First of all, I didn't see any advertisement for it. And usually when things aren't advertised, that's when they're okay. That's when they're not part of the agenda. Like when they don't get any support, like my channel. But I get it. Like I'm doing this, I don't know, I'm doing this for whoever wants to listen and whoever just wants to get a different perspective because I see this globally and I don't see it from I see it from a victim side, which I don't think is properly represented anywhere. And I gotta have background music when I can. But yeah, that's just pretty much how I see it. Um, I think that hold on, I gotta turn that down so I can't. So, but my point in making this video was because I was watching the Dawn Richards and the Q thing, and I've been like, I did a video about this before it started retrending, and I don't know if it ever originally trended because the videos from Vlad channel, and I would never go support Vlad because I've heard about how he is with the people in our community. Like they go on there, somehow he makes them comfortable. I'm telling you, I think they're in a studio somewhere supplied by YouTube. Like, well, how to get this nice studio? And have you ever heard of that whole thing? Like when you go in the casinos, they spray something in there that makes you just kind of be euphoric. Well, how do you know that this studio you all are going into, all of you wax and you know, you links, you big U's, how do you know? Why are you so comfortable? Like I cringe. I literally cringe sometimes hearing some of you be interviewed and talking because my inner organized stalking victim is like, "What are you doing? Never give up your location!" Like that, I'm screaming on the inside, seeing y'all talk so openly. And then I started thinking, like, I think some of these channels are court practice for you. Like, you know, it's going down. Look, just here's what I say. Here's what my inner organized stalking victim wants to tell you because I tried to hide her. She wants to tell you, run, bitch, run. There you go, girl, you. Like, really, that's what I want to say. But what I wanna, like, when you, yeah, be careful. If you get a call from Live TV to do an interview, I would assume, and I would assume that some organization that wants to have you in a courtroom to decide your freedom because of what you are knowingly or unknowingly involved with already has a file for it on you. Once you get that call to be interviewed by Vlad, if that's how it works, that's how I feel about his channel. I don't know the guy. I'm not trying to diss him, but I am trying to protect you. If so, you should hear my words. Who am I? Nobody. So if you hear my words, it might be a message because I be so buried in the algorithm, and I get it because people cannot handle you saying or showing this, and then like what I show on my channel, especially when I first started, because I was just showing. See, here's the thing about my cameras and techniques. You cannot catch back then. I mean, I can't catch something on camera unless I know it's going to happen. Well, how could it be? I'm not recording all the time. Those were just a few couple weeks at a time, whenever I was doing that. Not constantly, just, because either I would run out of money or run out of storage space or not have enough to pay my internet. So the scenes that you see that I record, they're there because I caught them, because they happened repetitiously. Every time I would leave the house, a loud car would drive by. And every time I would go to this intersection, the first intersection, it would be an emergency vehicle. And it just happened so much I could just be like, okay, let me record because something's about to happen. It became very Truman Show in my life. So, with the Don, we'll get back to that later. You'll hear that over time if you choose to listen to my channel. But I'm very, very buried on YouTube because people can't stand to really, like, you, only other victims are gonna be able to relate to that or listen to it for 5 seconds or longer because even a victim is like, unless they're trying to figure their situation out, they're not trying to hear that because they have their own situation to deal with. Okay. So let's just hit the Don Richards thing. So I did a video off live that was redone on Nick Jones because I had heard about it, but I'd never seen it. I've heard Jaguar comment about it on Real Life on the Blue Couch. They should just call it the Blue Couch. Anyway, it's funny how they got a Blue Couch. Okay, it's really funny how they got a Blue Couch, and Diddy is the Red Couch. Anyway, that couch is supposedly notorious, but because I had, oh, let me get y'all this song. Because I had not um hmm, because I had seen that on there. Well, forget it. Okay, I saw Don Richards. Okay, I seen it on Nick Jones, and then I redid it as a reaction with the ADHD reaction. Sometimes I'll just let myself be totally ADHD in all the other acronyms I have because that's how it affects me. But and I would like to be true to myself. So if this is my space for it and I don't get a lot of likes for it, that's cool. Anyway, so and I stopped at the video like something happened that he read about that Roger Bonds read about in the email because I noticed nobody's saying the Roger Bonds part now. So Q was reacting to the part where Roger Bonds either had sent him an email or Roger Bonds' reaction was to the email, but and he was crying. And then Q was like, "What about me?" You know what I'm saying? And I'm like, "Okay, wait a minute. That's saying a lot." You know what I'm saying? Just right there, he said a lot without saying nothing, and this had affected them all this way. And my whole big like to do about it was because first of all, right now, 2025 May, during the Diddy trial, I just read a fucking email yesterday that said they're going to start going in, not email, damn, I saw it on my channel, Tom Ramos, something like that. Tom, I don't know what it was. I reviewed it though. Where they're going to walk in to the offices of Democrats and see if they've been hiring too many blacks. And then I heard another content creator say that the black parties that Diddy was having was called all black parties because the party favors were mostly black. And so I'm sitting up here thinking, wait a minute, okay. I felt like the whole group of them needs therapy. And I know how difficult therapy has been for me to get because of my situation. Therapy or just support, just help, assistance. Not because I'm freaking out, but because I'm having trouble keeping jobs or because I'm having trouble keeping housing. And so this just like that's why I empathize with. I don't play about being unhoused. You know what I'm saying? Because when I see this with victims on the screen, I'm like, man, that's deep about targeting. This is why I call one person that's involved in that whole scenario the bully, because once somebody is housing challenged, I'm not going to go off on you. That's a hard time in life. And some of these people that we see sitting up here recording all the time, they are doing something called survival recording. That's not for your entertainment. That's for them to document themselves and to document just their existence. Proof. It's almost proof of life that you're seeing happen sometime on some of these people's channels. Like their Scar in the Woods. Shout out to Scar in the Woods. Scar in the Woods, SCAR in the woods, because my brother is living in the woods and he makes videos, and I'm like, that's survival recording. That's not for your entertainment, even though he's going to entertain you. Anyway, getting back to the point. Um, the Q thing, um, I don't feel like our social services system is ready. I I know that I struggle, and I'm not getting properly supported. I don't feel no, just I do most of my shit myself. I do because If not, I don't know if I would be here. Like honestly, they don't. It's not a lot of help in the way that you need it. You're always going to need housing, and that's the bottom line that I see about this globally. Housing is it's the bottom, it's the foundation of everything. If you don't have housing, you don't have shit. So then you got to go apply for all this stuff or try to get your life together in some way, and you don't even have a place to do it. You don't have a desk, you don't have electric. You need a lot to just do anything. Why people want to always sit up here and be like, okay, well, why does homeless people always ask for change? They don't have nothing else. They need to get a house so they can get a desk. I know some of the people be playing, but still, they got to get out of. And so the point is, if we're having such a big problem in the country with housing, then and it's against the law to evict a person just squarely based on their disability, then and you have to like prove certain things in order to evict them, then why is over 60% of the housing population that's unhoused, why do most of them have disabilities? So stick a pin in that, okay? Stick a pin in that. Now look at the fact that most of the victims of all this stuff that we're talking about with the Diddy trial, especially the part that you won't look in the face, that some people talk about out loud. You refuse to look it in the face. You're just now finding out about it. I was just watching Relentlessly Lex, and he was going through a video between Ali Carter and Jaguar, and even some of the like she's just touching the surface, and people can't handle it. They're like, "What?" Men, grown men, are having problems mentally digesting this that is happening. And me, well, I'm just crawling into a little ball. But the point is that um, I'm still looking for this song. The point is that I'm free to on my channel not ever get to the point. I can end it right now and still be great in my own eyes. Hold on, y'all. I'm looking for the song. But so we're dealing with Q. Okay, so you got that part, and then you got the underserved communities part. Okay, and so the majority of the victims are coming from this disproportion. This they're not elite people. Is my point. Nobody's elite kids are getting done this way unless somebody really hates them. Like it's just not the demographic is such that it's poor, low income, and socio disadvantaged and underserved communities. So that's from on the child trafficking side. Then it's reported that these people that when this happens to people, they're unable to really handle life. So they go into drugs and alcoholism. Okay, so you got another layer that's taking them out. You don't see how this is stripping society. It's like elite eating the poor in a lot of ways, like like metaphorically and not metaphorically. Okay, by because of this whole structure that's set up. So let's say you survive the trafficking, okay, and whatever goes along with that whole thing, right? Then you're like young teen, early adult, and you can't figure out how to make it because you can't deal with the trauma. Why can't you deal with the trauma? Well, is this support system here to help these children and young adults at that stage? In other words, does people like Q have a support system? He does, because to some degree, he's still supported. He could be out and not be. Well, no, he's not supported. He's being injected, and that's that's the other control piece of this. So no, Diddy didn't get him that night, but the system got him, and he's still okay. And I'm grateful for that because I care as a human being and as a person who gets this. But still the same fucking song. I'm sorry, I'm working on it. I can't play nobody's music but my own because YouTube's a hater. Okay, so then if you survive that, you might get into old age. But if this system doesn't begin to acknowledge what's going on with people who've gone through this, and it's such a big problem in our society, that's why you're seeing more and more videos of people sleeping in storage sheds. Now, unless they just coming up on my feed, I'm seeing a lot more videos of people sleeping in storage sheds. Yeah, it's probably mine. It probably is, y'all. I'm looking for this song still. I apologize. But to me, it's crazy to have that cycle. But the video is about Dawn. And after me watching Rotten Mango today and getting a good, because I have to listen to her to get the last piece. Like the other pieces drop, but they're like you have to piece this together like a puzzle. So I'm hearing about how, first of all, there's one of my favorite books is called The Art of Strategy, and I don't know where it is right now, but it is my favorite book. Oh, it might be over here. I'll grab it in a second. Let's see if it's in here. Oh, it's too late to even have it. I've never lived in a place and lost this much shit. Like, it's like a magic box in here. Okay, so anyway, one of my books is called The Art of Strategy, my favorite book. And it talks about how when your enemy that you're about to face, when your opponent is well prepared, do not engage in battle, essentially. Then I heard Rotten Mango describe her as being very straight faced Dawn when she came in. She was very straight faced. She she was dressed to the nines because you got to remember the word is that Diddy used to put her down and tell her to do something about her face. Like he really used to he had a good game apparently from what we're digesting from everyone. And that's what makes it true. Is because you can see this shit happening from everybody's angle. And this man is actually gone. Anyway. Um so um she was dressed to the nines, like they said she had a fitted, she had a fitted fit, you know what I'm saying? So she came ready. And when they said, do you see the person in the thing? She didn't just say, yes, he has on this yellow sweater or something like that. She pointed at him and then Diddy does like this. Okay? So this makes him look like he's surrendering, he's giving up. Because Diddy he's a mind fuck. He's a mind fuck. Man, I'm glad I didn't make it, Lord. I'm glad I didn't make it. Thank you for saving me. And please let me still make music. God, please, thank you for protecting me. Because y'all, I think a lot of us wanted to be hip hoppers. And this is what we would have had to deal with. Like, I would not have wanted to deal with this at all. I wouldn't wanted my name in it right now, none of that shit. And you know how you be praying to God real hard, like, God, please, like, whew, I'm glad. It's sometimes it's just you don't even understand what he's saving you from. But anyway, so the point is she was ready. And then they asked her, um, what does she mean? Like the part they got to the part where it was like, when he told them when he called her and the other lady in after they saw Cassie get beat up by him the first time. I think he did shit. He did fucked up shit. This is my thing, okay? This is what I'm getting. He did fucked up shit in front of people to jump them in the game, to see if they can handle it, to see if they would talk, to see who the fuck they would talk to. That's really what I think. And then when other people talk, they might come up missing or lose their job, so that it would scare whomever else may have saw it. You feel what I'm saying? He went. That's that whole little game. But y'all, this is all based on these fucking Tony Montana movies that we've all grown up emulating and looking up to. All it because our communities got flooded, honey. Because we have been strung up for trying to make it and trying to be somebody, and so our minds have gravitated towards gangsterism as being the only savior of our people. That is what I get from it. And it has all been a test to see if you would be this fucked up. Would you go along? Or would you, man, the tough part is when you're faced with the decision of going along or losing your life. Now if you're being coerced or forced, that's up to God's leniency, not mine. But oh shit, I done hit the wrong button. This thing about to play real loud. Hold on, y'all. I mean, it's my music, but I still gotta stop it. This thing don't like to stop. Once you get that thing playing, he don't like to stop at all. I'm sorry about that. I'm sure it was really loud. I apologize. But yeah, I think that it's God's test to see if you will go along with it. And you know how they say in Revelations, and I'm not real biblical. I'm not trying to go there, but you know the part about the dragon's tail. You know what I'm saying? Because I always thought the dragon was gonna be a woman because she had a tail, but Diddy don't got a tail by now, child. Oh, he was he. I think he got tail all right. Anyway, all right. So yeah. All right. So that's the Dawn Richards part. So she was ready to go, and then they stopped her testimony, and they started discussing stuff, and they sent everybody home and kept discussing stuff. Okay. So they came in Monday. And when they came in Monday, the one dude looked, the Brian Steele dude, he looked a little upset, but Diddy walked in there confident. You got to realize Diddy know Don. Diddy know how to manipulate and control Don. Diddy has worked on Don's head, and he know that he can break her confidence down by saying something about her. And to me, this Nicole Westmoreland, on Diddy's defense, this is exactly what she did. She got into Don's head by disrespecting her music and putting her down. This has been on South Park. This has been on many things where men have a theory now. If they put a woman down, I think it's even in Tariq Nasheed's book, The Art of Macking. You put a woman down and make her feel bad, like even especially these high post pretty women. They're into putting women down to make them feel bad so that they can then get them on their mental level so that they can try to manipulate. So the book is worth a read, right? So that's my theory of the game that she was running, the play that she was running. I see lawyers as just like the football team, baby. They got strategies for what they doing. Okay? And I think that's the play they was running was put her down and then come in there and just go straight to the end zone. So first she put her down, and then she got on the yes no questions. This happened on this day. Isn't that correct? And and isn't that correct? And and isn't that correct? And then what's some the Don at the end? I forget how they said her testimony ended. You know, sometimes I jot things down. I don't got no Dawn note. So let me see. I know her testimony ended and they interviewed her lawyer. Her lawyer was like, sometimes it's just so much because the first part, I thought I did write this. The first part was supposed to be in about 20 minutes, and then her second part of her testimony was like half the day, and then she was like, okay, I'm sorry. Like every time she started talking and kept wanting to explain, she kept on saying, "Okay, I'm sorry. Okay, no, not I'm sorry, but okay," and that's it. So she, like Nicole Westmoreland, just came in and went for that touchdown. But now that the Q stuff is coming out, I see why. See, it came out after she testified. And then Aubrey O'Day is some of the part of why she came out. Aubrey O'Day used to be in Danity Kane, right? So she was affiliated with Diddy. And first she was talking Diddy shit too. And then I feel like the people that's switching up got paid out. And they like, I ain't fucking testifying for shit. I got $10 million. And how can a government who allowed him to do all this for all these years and is leaving all this other shit out, how can we seriously consider that they have any intentions of seriously doing anything about any of this? This is another Epstein. I feel like the case has already been decided. We are just seeing it acted out. Just like WWE wrestling. They know who's gonna win that match. They're just going through the motion. Gotta make it look cute. This is why when you look at aggressive or strategies of the defense and strategies of the plaintiff, the other video I did the other day, it looks to me like they doing a trial by ambush. The defense is doing a trial by ambush. This is why they gave him 400 documents a month after and a week into the trial. So that makes your opponent be off balance. I think even though I appreciate Judge Sumbermanium, I feel like well, he's a judge, right? But I feel like he has to take a lot. He has to give Diddy so much of the benefit of the doubt that it looks and feels unfair to victimize people. Because if he doesn't, Diddy will ask for a mistrial. They already done tried it twice. Sitting up in there asking for a mistrial. And so that's why he has to give him so much leeway. And I reviewed some other things and some other videos I did the other day. But I feel like it's already decided. I don't have confidence that my government, that where I live, is gonna aggressively handle this situation. Not with as hard and strict of a hand that would equal the unkindness, let's just say, that and pain that he has caused other people. They don't have it within them because they set him out in our community. He is an entire corporation. That video you see where Unique Mega Audio is swatting at Gene Deal, he doesn't represent just himself unless he's the new boss. He represents a group of men who feel that way. He does. There's no other way to see that. Why would you be? We're old. He jumping and swatting all at the man's back, hitting him in the head, trying to play fight. At what age? Gene was just talking the other day. We play fighting. They older than me. My knees. Gene Deal's kneecaps, baby. That's all I'm gonna say. I got Gene Deal's kneecaps. Give him some more energy, God. Give him some more energy. Let him motherfucker do a roundhouse. The next nigga roll up on him. And I think you did the right thing because you gotta walk away. Why would you? Why would you approach somebody with a camera? Either camera dude knew something was gonna go down, or that guy was gonna play fight him or something. That's why whoever the camera person is, way back. I don't even know. I don't know, God, but I just don't think that. I don't know. You can't have a heavy hand. Think about somebody in the house, right? Let's say a dad goes and tells his son to smack the shit out of his sister till she cries. And then the little girl comes to the dad and says he smacked the shit out of me and comes to him crying. How could the dad then? How how could the dad really seriously discipline the son? What kind of sadistic ass father would that be? So I'm supposed to sit up here and believe, as a person who's been shit. I'm sorry, y'all. Hold on. I'm supposed to sit up here and believe, as a person that's been through some of this. So I get it. I'm supposed to believe that they're gonna be heavy handed with this guy, and they told him to do this shit and let him do it for all that time. Y'all know that ain't how it works. Y'all know that ain't how it works. But I get Dawn, why the defense wasn't sweating Dawn, because they knew how to manipulate and control her. What Dawn would have to do at this point is figure out how to Diddy. How do you out Diddy? Because just like now, I'm speaking as a strategist now, based on my love of strategy. If I were to give the defense some information or some pointers, then if you've been close to Diddy, see, I think Cassie did it. I think Cassie, either she got so much on him that either Cassie has so much on Diddy that he already in, when it comes to her, or she's learned how to out Diddy. And it seems like she may have, and I hope to God she did. Man, that's just rough. I got so many pains in my body right now, and I know it's from shit that happened in the past that I cannot imagine if I had also been kicked in my lower back viciously. I like, when I heard about that, I think I started having back pain. Oh my God, wait. And all the other shit. Honey, these women are not nobody's your punching bag. Whoever is out here doing this to other people, nobody is your punching bag. Go figure out how to handle your shit. Because if you have to beat somebody, even if your dad told you to do it, and you know what I'm trying to say, then you got some real big motherfucking problems. Seek therapy. They are already overwhelmed. You have to get in line, because I was in line first. But seek therapy.